So you're probably familiar with the many methods of priming, but did you know you can prime with a die on your press? Today, we're going to be looking at the RCBS Ram Prime. Hey there, Kyle Shields from UltimateReloader.com. So this isn't my first time actually using the Ram Prime. I got this particular one a while back when I was using my Lee press because that priming system unfortunately had broke on me and I wanted something to supplement that for my on-press priming. And what brought me to this is that it was affordable and accurate. And I personally like on-press priming because it keeps everything contained. You can keep all your reloading gear in a smaller space. But before we get into this, I want to talk about some of the other methods and tools for priming. So you've got on-press priming, which is with the built-in priming system of your particular press, if it has it. You've got the Ram priming system. Then you've also got benchtop priming, and you've also got hand priming, those hand priming tools. And the two methods are by feel or by hard stop. So you can actually do both with the Ram Prime. You can prime by feel with the leverage of the press, or you can go by hard stop where you're ending on the press there with the linkage. And you can also do by feel with some of the other tools, like especially the hand priming tools. And a lot of people prefer to prime by feel. All right, so real quick before we dive into setting everything up, I wanted to cover what you get and what to expect when you order one of these. So first you'll have the instructions which cover how to assemble everything. You got the Ram die body itself and a lock ring. You get the primer rod holder. You get the primer rod assemblies for both large and small primers. And then this isn't included, but it's the appropriate shell holder that you'll need. It's just a standard size shell holder for the caliber that you're priming for. Next, let's get this thing set up and actually put it to use. You'll want to put together your primer rod assemblies first. So these all come in a bag. It's not too bad, but they come with a plunger, a sleeve, and a spring. So all you do is slide the sleeve over the plunger, put the spring behind that. The plunger itself is threaded, so you thread it into one of the primer rod assemblies. It doesn't matter which one, they're both the same size. So you'll just screw this down onto the primer rod, and then once you feel it bottom out a little bit, you'll notice there's a hole here to slide something like a punch or a paper clip in, and you'll just want to slide this in. It's kind of like threading a needle, so it may be a little tricky, just like so. And then you'll want to cinch it down just a touch, not too much. You don't want to over torque it or anything, but that's just going to make sure that it doesn't back out on you. It's really neat that these include both small and large assemblies, so you can swap between them as you need without having to ever assemble those again. We got our press here. I'm going to take our primer rod shell holder. It looks like a shell holder, but it holds our primer rods, and it snaps in just like a traditional shell holder on your press, just like so. Since I'm priming for a small rifle primer, I want to find the small rifle primer assembly. This is the one. I'll be using brand new Lapua cases for this, just keeping it pretty easy. And as far as your primers, you don't have to have them, anvil up or anything like that. I just like using one of these trays. It's easy to grab and keep your primers all in one spot, keep them from falling all over the floor. They're definitely precious these days. So you want to grab your shell holder for the cartridge that you'll be loading for. In my case, that's 6mm Creedmoor. You just snap the shell holder in, very similar to a press, but onto the die body itself. You'll take the lock ring, bring that all the way up near the edge of the threads there. So raise the ram all the way till it bottoms out, and just start threading in our die body. And what we're looking for is about a ½ inch of protrusion, so probably right around there. We'll just tighten our lock ring by hand. This doesn't have a set screw or anything because it doesn't need to be crazy. There we are. So in order to prime, we have our primers here, anvil up already. You'll just raise your ram, carefully drop it in, anvil up. You see that it's sticking up right about there. And so remember, this is prime by feel. You don't want to overdo this. You can crush primers. You don't want that. It's similar to hand priming by feel, right? You just get a feel for it. So with presses, there's a lot of leverage. So I'd say go easy. And at first, mine might not be fully seated. I felt it bottom about right there on the plunger. Let's slide it out and see what we got. So there we go. That's one primed case. Let's try another. So this is a great alternative to hand priming because you could still prime by feel. I still felt a little bit of resistance. I was able to kind of dial it in. But since you've got a lot of leverage, it can be tricky. Let's try about right there. Just felt it bottom out. And let's just say your press doesn't have on-press priming, a priming system, and you still want to use your press. This is a great way to pretty much add priming to your existing press. This also has a lot of leverage for stubber primers. So that is prime by feel. Next, we'll prime by hard stop. Now let's move on to my preferred method, which is priming by hard stop. And that's really with any system if I can. So it'll be the same exact setup from priming by feel, where the plunger is about a ½ inch or so above the shell holder on the top. What we'll do first is just back this off a good deal. And let's go ahead and raise the ram back up. And we're looking for this to be close to flush, maybe probably just a little bit further, probably about right there. And you can rotate the shell holder wherever you like. And obviously it's the most convenient to put it towards you for easier loading. So we'll take another case that is unprimed, grab another primer, go ahead and raise the ram first, drop the primer in, lower it, give it a push. Let's see here. All right, so that tells me that that is way too far out because we can't even remove the case at the moment. So that means it needs to go down even further. We'll go in about full turns or so at first, maybe about right there, rotate the shell holder at the top, give it another push. Let's see where we're at. All right, so see how that's proud? Still need to go further. So we can put this back in for now. Let's give it a ½ a turn, about right there. Oops, lost my adjustment there. There we go. Rotate the shell holder, give it another push, and see if that works for us. That's about right. So priming by hard stop is consistent because now I can just rinse and repeat, and I don't have to think about going by feel. I can just run through all these cases. Still getting in the flow of this. I haven't used this in a while, so it's pretty neat. It reminds me a little bit of some of the other on-press priming systems. And that's all there really is to it. And that's why I like priming by hard stop. You don't have to think about each one. You may need to, for case lot to case lot, change your adjustment. But for the most part, if you have the same lot of cases, you could probably keep the same adjustment and you'll be fine. So that's priming by a hard stop. All right, so in conclusion, some of the advantages of Ram Prime is that it saves a lot of space on the bench. Really, if you're packing it up, all you need is just this little box, which is really nice. The other thing is it's a great backup solution. So like me, if your on-press priming or priming system has failed or broken, you can keep going without any interruptions. And then lastly, it's just affordable. It's almost like, why not? Why not put this in your bag per se, in your reloading setup? So what I'd like to know is, what is your preferred method of priming? Is it Ram Prime? Is it hand priming, bench priming? And do you like priming by feel or do you like priming by hard stop? So that's all there really is to it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, we're on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, where we've got unrestricted content, and Instagram. Make sure to follow us on all those channels. Ultimate Reloader also has a commercial solutions division serving law enforcement, the military, and the gun industry. We have some unique capabilities, including a comprehensive suite of recoil testing and evaluation capabilities, trigger profiling, and more. If you're interested in custom rifles like what we build here on the channel or gunsmithing services, you're going to want to go to rifles.ultimatereloader.com and get on the wait list. If you want to learn lucrative gunsmithing like what I show here on the channel, including building custom rifles and Cerakote plus a whole bunch more, you're going to want to check out the Colorado School of Trades, schooloftrades.edu. Thanks again for watching.